So I'm making a video here to explain the arc of the projects over this 6-month period. Roger and I got together today and talked about possible ways of punctuating this, of having meeting times. And I'm just going to explain to you our thinking, and not that these are at all set in stone, but that this is what we imagined as a starting place to think about how we're going to punctuate the projects throughout the quarter. So first of all, I laid out the whole quarter here. This is the first day of classes, the 7th. The first Friday is the 11th. And then the weeks of the quarter are here. Finals, break, and then the weeks of the quarter. And then the last day of spring quarter is the 14th. So that's sort of how basically I started this. And then what Roger and I thought we would do is sort of imagine what the activities of the students might be. So we wanted to sort of map out, and at least this is how we started doing it, map out how the students deal with the pressures from school. So initially it's pretty low, and then they enter into midterms. It gets a little bit higher. Then there's a bit of a dip before they enter into finals, and then there's a big drop off during the break. They come back at a low level. Again, they have midterms, a little bit of a dip, and then finals. And then at the end of finals, they drop off. So that's kind of what we imagined for the extrinsic motivation. And then for intrinsic motivation, we were imagining it actually would be almost opposite of the extrinsic motivation. So they initially came in high because they wanted to do this. They might have a dip in intrinsic because of the distractions from midterms. They might actually get a little bit higher when they see they have a little bit of time, to work on things. It might drop again in accordance with finals. It might actually start to increase over break. They start thinking about their projects. They might come back at a higher level of intrinsic value again. And then again, they go through that same cycle and maybe end. We're hoping they'll end pretty high here. We don't really know. So with this sort of pattern in mind, we thought what we would do is start with the project fair, because we want them to really understand the connections of the projects with the whole of sustain. So we want to start here, possibly introduce the projects or the community partners on the first day, and then have them do those kinds of presentations at a community project fair that we did last year. I'm not sure on that. We still have to think about the design of the first week, but we thought as soon as possible we would have this first Friday be the project fair. And then following this sort of pattern, we thought after midterms we would have sort of a review with the community partners and the students. And this might be individual project meetings. It might be a formal review like we did last year. We're not exactly sure, but we wanted to sort of set aside this time for everybody to cycle through meetings or presentations. And then then there would be sort of nothing with the projects until we came back the first week of the following quarter. We would have a sort of a mid-project review, say where are we, maybe presentations, maybe a kind of a celebration, I'm not sure, but more of an active community-wide meeting right when we came back. And then again, we'd have another review session very similar to this during the 6th week, again aligning with the pattern we imagine might happen with classwork and intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. So we'd have this sort of project review here, and then at the end we would have a celebration. I think we'd really want to call it a celebration. We have it sort of now at the last Friday of the quarter, but we can sort of adjust that. Maybe it would be during finals week. And this, just the whole arching aspect of this is that we're really looking at this as the 6-month arch of the community partner projects. And the last thing I want to address is that there was a request from the community partners and from the alumni from last year. They wanted to have periodic meetings and capacity building where we'd get together and talk about some of the dialogues and the aspects of challenging our own assumptions. So what we did is we decided that during the 4th week of every month, a Friday of the 4th week from 2 to 4, we would have community/alumni capacity building meetings. And that's what these little green asterisks are throughout here. We have these marked at these 5 times during the quarter, just so we know this is mostly for the community partners, but that you know this is going on also. And that's kind of how we did it. So I'm hoping with this sort of structure, when we come together on Thursday, we can have a discussion about the pros and cons of this. Thanks.